Let's start with a news summary this morning. In the newsroom today is Georgina Meir.
Good morning. 9 people have now been arrested in connection with the climate camp protest at Kingsnorth. 4 were charged with offences including possession of a blade, obstructing a police officer and driving without a correct licence or insurance. Over 500 protesters have now gathered at the site near Hoo for the week-long protest against plans to turn Kingsnorth into a coal-fired power station. Yesterday, Arthur Scargill addressed demonstrators, saying he supported the plans, provided the site was made as environmentally friendly as possible, and he told BBC Radio Kent that a certain type of energy policy is needed.
It's been a pleasure to be here, a privilege to be here. I think that they've enjoyed it just as much as I've enjoyed it. At least it gave me an opportunity to present an energy policy which was one of integration with coal and alternative energies such as wind, wave, tide, geothermal, hydro and above all solar power, together with conservation and insulation.
Well, for in-depth features on the climate camp, you can log on to our website, bbc.co.uk/Kent.
Now, 9 arrests later, and it's day 3 of the climate camp at Kingsnorth Power Station, and the campaigners are firmly ensconced. The camp is in protest at plans to build a new coal-fired power station, which campaigners say will add to global warming and blow a hole in Britain's green credentials. That's why they are there. But do they know why they are there? Our reporter Simon Longprice thought he'd asked that very question, and he joins me now. Simon, I thought it was pretty clear why these protesters are where they are.
Well, it is to a degree, as you described just above. They don't like coal-fired power stations because of climate change concerns, and they want renewable energy, mainly wind farms instead of coal. But I wondered if they knew what they were actually asking for. I mean, specifically, like whether they knew just how much energy the country needs and how that squares up with what's on offer. So I asked a number of people, 5 questions in all, with a couple of supplementaries. And my interviewees ranged from campaigners who are local residents to event organisers. Now, the interview we're about to hear with a Kent Greenpeace member is absolutely typical of the replies I received. I asked him first just how much power the country needs on average a day.
Not exactly how much it needs, no.
If I were to say it needs on average about 63 gigawatts, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, indeed, yeah, I can understand that.
How many megawatts is Kingsnorth going to produce?
Is it 2.3? I don't know.
It's 1,600 megawatts.
Is that it, just 1,600?
Do you know what the difference between a megawatt and a gigawatt is?
There are how many megawatts into a gigawatt, son? Thousands, yeah. So there's only 1,600 megawatts coming from Kingsnorth.
How many wind turbines make a Kingsnorth?
I reckon we could make about a dozen.
A dozen wind turbines would make a Kingsnorth?
Am I guessing wrong?
How about more like 868?
868, could still fit them in.
How many do you think are being built in the Thames Estuary and off Thanet at the moment?
How many are being built down the Thames Estuary?
It's about 454.
Right, okay. So we're halfway there.
Can you see why people say that if we don't build places like Kingsnorth, that the lights might go out?
No, I don't see that, really. I still think we can do it with renewable.
So
I think the UK is firmly, nicely placed to demonstrate that as well to the rest of the world. You know, I think we've got enough places to continually building wind farms to supply us all.
How many conversions of electricity does it take to get power from a wind farm to the national grid, do you think?
No, go on. How much energy does it take?
I can't answer the energy, but I can tell you that you need to convert it from AC to DC back to AC again.
Right. OK.
Do you know what AC and DC are?
Vaguely.
Go on, explain.
Right. Is alternate current and direct current?
That's about it.
Right,
that's about it. But to get between those two changes, you've obviously got to use power to do it.
Yeah, indeed, OK.
So, again, I ask you, you're basing your case on renewables, but you thought 12 turbines equalled a Kingsnorth.
Yes, I did, didn't I? Right.
So do you know why you're here?
Yeah, does it sound like I know why I'm here?
Well, you tell me.
I don't know the technical answers, no, sir, no. I don't know all the points that you've raised today, but I know one thing for sure, that we can't keep digging it up out of the ground, and I think that there is no emergency exit from this planet, and that when we do get to the tipping point of climate chaos, is the only time that we're going to stop building coal-fired power stations. And I think we should demonstrate against that sooner, like today, and I think that we should make this point stronger.
So, Simon, not good on detail, but convinced of the case for protest anyway, and you say that was a typical reply to your questions.
Yes, indeed. When tested, campaigners from the local community, for example, were also short on detail, and when pressed on the details, moved on to themes rather than evidence, i.e. pollution and sickness levels in the Medway towns. And the same with event organisers. There was one woman who had qualifications in physics and had once been an electronic engineer. Now, she was a bit better with some of the figures, but said she couldn't remember some of the others, and went on then, again, to become thematic and make the case for everybody to reduce their consumption of power, saying that we need to do that by a factor of 50%, and that an urgent and radical overhaul of local, national and international energy policy is needed. So, yes, by and large, people weren't that clued up on the details. Now, I've got to make a confession here, because when I asked the first question myself, how much fuel does the country need, and I said 63 gigawatts. Now, I got that wrong.
Oh, is it more than that?
Well, no. That's what the country needs when EastEnders is on and there's a murder and there's a Chelsea-Man U match and it's half-time and it's very, very cold. Yeah. It's actually 46 gigawatts.
It's still more than 12 wind turbines for a King's North, isn't it?
And nobody challenged me either. Not a single person challenged me. So
you're a very bad man going around giving bad information to people.
No. The country does occasionally consume 63 gigawatts, but right. So by and large it's 46. But the chap you just heard, really, in all seriousness, was absolutely representative of the answers. Okay. They have a feeling of why they should be there, but it's not entirely clear.
They can't nail down the detail. No. All right, Simon, thank you very much indeed. Isn't that interesting? Well, I don't know what you think about that, but I suppose you might think, well, the questions were hard. They were quite hard, but I suppose if you're somebody who cares passionately about that particular subject, you would expect them to know. I think the question I was surprised they didn't know is the relationship between wind turbines and a power station. How many wind turbines do you need to replace a power station? I thought they would have known that. I wouldn't have known it because perhaps it's not a subject that that I go and protest about. But you'd have thought they would, wouldn't you? Anyway, they didn't. 18 minutes to 8's the time. Let's update.